treasure. So rummaging through trash heaps might produce a mass feast. A stew made of fish heads made the finest of dishes. What? Fine wine and caviar. Just bad grapes and fish eggs. Saw. Keep it simple. One life. New life. Breathe life. Blow. So black. So blue. See smile. Glow. One wife to make a man fight and throw bricks. Another wife to help a man know who he is. A third wife to make a man full when on the road. You needed a Lucille to make a man feel at home. One wife, two wife, three wife, four. One man, two lips, three vows, blow. And now he lives at 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll them.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of their creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, well, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to, do it. You want to change the world, there's nothing to it. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Hey.
Imagine a world away, and a way of life with a wife, a queen, in Queens, in fair Corona where we lay our scene, where ghost notes still float and tchotchkes gleam, tokens gathered from round the globe traversed, and then brought back home, to be dispersed on mantle, TV set, coffee table, and wall. Man, if these knickknacks could chat, can you fathom the music these cats could scat between spats, all the facts and random acts of love? tales of Lucille in the kitchen, tweaking a recipe's secret ingredient before waking the sleeping genius on the couch with his feet up after having bought all the neighborhood kids ice cream. I wonder what licks he'd dream up in a nap. Or if he was just remembering a world from whence he came, a whole wonderful wide world away from that New Orleans boy who loved to play.
I see babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yeah.
That's nice. I wonder what this kitchen looks like.
Let's go check it out, man.
I know she got a nice kitchen.
You said she got a nice one.
She got a nice
I
kitchen.
like that.
I want to see.
It was way back there in the early days, and we didn't have much money and things like that, but we lived and, like you say, enjoyed good food.
You had a lot of fun?
Yeah, my mother could take 15 cents and go to the Partridge Market and come back and cook a meal. I mean, a big, and you have to lick your fingers, it's so good. You know what I mean?
15 cents?
Yes, sir. In those days, you could take a newspaper and I'd go to the market, a fish market, and buy a whole newspaper full of fish heads. Just plain chopped off fish heads that they would use to put aside.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be garbage for them, wouldn't it?
well, they just ain't got time to do what we did.
Yeah.
My mother would get the fish heads and take them home and cook them and clean them and cook them and put a lot of tomatoes, canned tomatoes in them, and call it cubion. It's a Creole dish, and serve it on top of some rice. Boy, you talking about beautiful food and delicious. And the next morning I go to school with a cabbage sandwich.
Cabbage sandwich?
Cabbage sandwich, and good leftover from last night.
Yeah.
Because the next morning I got a fresh stomach to start maybe a pork chop or something, whatever.
For breakfast, the pork chop?
Anything we can eat for breakfast is all right with us. Glad to get it.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. So, rummaging through trash heaps might produce a mass feast. Food made from fish heads, the nicest of dishes. What's fine wine and caviar but bad grapes and fish eggs? So, and I imagine jazz was invented in a black woman's kitchen. As improvisation, that is the making of any given situation, it's an heirloom handed down by way of survival. You want to keep breathing, you better improvise. You want to keep eating, you better learn to cook. So to make do, you make a stew. Add some rice to make it chew. Add a spice to make it new. Do that for life? That makes it blues. Yeah. I imagine jazz originated in a black woman's kitchen, under a black woman's care, under a black woman's stare. It don't need no words. Something about the sounds of a rolling pin, rolling thin, some dough to go fold over a tin that's overflowing with that something special it holds within, and then stuffed in oven, baked gold, and then devoured. That started out as a wooden spoon in a bowl full of flour. Add an egg, 'cause you got one. Cup of milk, 'cause you got some. Boy, why don't you run across the way and see if Miss Dupree will let me borrow some honey, honey. Yeah, cause see, it's the sweet spot that makes the bleep hot. Sometime around ragtime, but way before bebop, way before cream and sugar were added, I imagine jazz was somewhere percolating in a black woman's kitchen, blowing the lids off of coffee pots, knowing that it was something black and strong and could get you going if it could just get into your system, maybe survive a lynching, maybe revive a victim. It couldn't possibly divide the living. So listen, let's get back to the kitchen where I am almost certain Jazz was beating up on the upper lip of a black woman over the stove, no longer slaving, just making sure her babies had some beautiful food to eat, whipping up potatoes like magic or whipping up magic like potatoes. Either way, she's whipping, driven with intuition, dipping that wooden spoon in for taste test sipping. Cayenne, oregano, paprika, salt. Now let that simmer. Savory improvisation, creating on the fly, and the fly on the wall might fly into that dish. It smells so good, you better fly it on out of here. And where is that boy with that borrowed honey? Because money is scarce, but that's no excuse not to take your time. Good food takes time. Jazz takes time and swings it. Stretches it out like a life dodging death in a game of tag, because hunger is always around the corner, but starvation is often kept at bay when a black woman has a kitchen and some time on her hands to riff on whatever she's got. Don't always got much, but there's no need for her to lose her head just because a few fish have lost theirs. So she improvises. Jazzes her way through a meal until it's fit for a king. Where is that boy with that borrowed honey? I just hope he hurries home before this coubillon gets cold.
I bought the house myself and didn't tell him. So I had had the house 8 months before I told Louis. 8 whole months. So finally I told him 2 weeks before we would go back to New York, and I told him, I said, Pops, I got something to tell you. So he said, well, now what have you done now? I said, I haven't done anything. I don't think you're going to be unhappy about what I've done. So I said, yes, I bought a house in a little town called Corona. He had never heard of Corona, and I had come from Corona. And he said, well, how did you pay for it? You didn't ask me for any money. I said, well, you have to remember that I had been working for 13 years. I had a little money saved up, and so when I approached you about a house and you were so down on it, I didn't ask you, and I just took my money and I put the down payment on the house, and I've been keeping the payments up. So he said, you have? I said, yes. I said, but now that you know about the house, you can take the payments over.
And we've been right in that neighborhood where we live now in Corona. See 3 generations right in that one block.
Grow up. I saw some pictures of you with the little children in the neighborhood.
And they all bring their children, their grandchildren, Uncle Louis, Uncle Lucille. See what I mean?
I always wanted to ask, like, what advice did he get to step out on his own and really go for it as an artist?
We were both young and lived with the better education and experience. She only did what any wife that's interested in her husband would do. I listened very carefully when Lil told me to always play the lead, play second trumpet to no one. She proved that she was right, didn't she?
That person has to be a very strong influence on you, and you have to trust that word, because that's really all it is the word of someone else's belief system.
Yeah.
That you are not better than, greater than you're allowing yourself to be. You know, that you're believing yourself to be. And that play second trumpet to no one that takes courage. That takes, you know. Were there
other styles of music other than jazz, right? That kind of influenced like Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Or is there other like people? Like, was he also into what other genres kind of like helped him kind of like turn his brain on?
Yeah.
You know?
And listening to people like Joe Oliver and them brass bands playing those funeral marches, just like a symphony would be in that Dulce era when they get soft and that's jazz.
Yeah.
See, that's how I look at it. Anything you can express to the public is jazz.
There's a lot of feeling of opera singing, of good
Most of it
singing.
in the olden days, the old French opera and things like that. Most of that music comes from the opera.
Yeah.
That's a voice in and I used to make all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Leaving yourself, being open to everything, all different styles of music or art or whatever, so then you can pour that out when you play.
Like Louis Armstrong had the mutual respect for like all art, and could find the commonality, and can take inspiration from all genres. And I feel like all of us as artists and writers and painters and singers and whatever art form we use, like we need to to get inspiration from all the other art forms.
You're not creating from limitation. You're creating by choice at a certain point. It's like, oh, I can do this because I have this. I've heard this before. I have this tool versus like I'm only stuck to what I know.
He seems like a person that was like, I want to connect with everyone. You know that they had TVs in the house, right? And so the TV in the living room, we were told that like the kids would come and watch TV. You know what I mean? He would buy out the whole ice cream truck for the kids. You know what I mean? When the ice cream truck man would come by, and like that generosity, it wouldn't have been possible had he not moved here. It just allowed him to kind of the generosity would have been there, but it just gave him the avenue, to kind of like just share his heart with people.
What he got from being here, first of all, What a Wonderful World is about being here, like seeing like all these kids. I watched them grow. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. He got so much, he just kept giving back what he got. And it's just like a dope philosophy.
I wish I could be there to witness all of the good that will come from this. Just watch them bloom, babe. Watch them bloom. Just plant the seeds in their minds to grow. And watch them bloom, watch them bloom, and plant the seeds and then watch them grow. Promised I would, spark innovation. The flowers they bloom for generations. I wish I could be there to witness all of the good that will come from it. Just watch them bloom.
Keep it simple. Keep up with the times if you can't keep up with the tempo. You want to leave a mark, sometimes you gotta leave your kinfolk. Leave everything you know. Leave things to chance like when leaf lands on water and leaves a ripple. Because in effect though, you may never reap the benefits. The harvest isn't for the artist, it is for the people left behind to reassess, repossess, reshape, and redefine. So this the remix. Bet you can't believe this. We standing in your your recesses, kicking it like Adidas. Got kick drum in the background in your backyard, like 3 kids that sneak in through the back gate when you vacate for the weekend. You're bright like the beacon, we follow. We live in the moment, cause nothing's promised by tomorrow. We cherish it, no talk of death is delicate. We relish in your many deeds. You planted seeds of many trees under which you would never sit. So we bloom.
And plant the seeds in the mouths to grow. Just watch them bloom, babe. Watch them bloom. Just plant the seeds in the minds to
But he got stranded in Savannah, that's where he stayed. The one that enjoyed his days and did the best he could, but generations, the Western generation, they grew up so fast. That's why an old timer told me
I usually say nice things also about human beings, if they deserve it. I never want to be any more than I am. And what I don't have, I don't need it in who. I've always loved and I always lived a normal life, which I appreciate very much. And I've always loved everybody, still do.
Because it's a pandemic. I'm singing through a man.
Yes, sir.
In Corona, because it's a pandemic.
Corona in Corona.
Corona in Corona.
Corona in Corona.
I don't know what else I can do to keep me from getting the pandemic blues. Hey, hey. I'm singing through a mask. I'm doing the best I can.
Getting through.
Getting through.
Sound like you're getting through.
Sound like singing through a mask. And I am doing the best that I can.
But it's getting through.
Just to get through.
But it's getting through.
It's getting through. Woo. Can you hear what I am saying
I hear
to
you.
you?
I hear it.
Oh Lord, 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 Lord. Oh Lord, 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 Lord. Hey, 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 hey,
They say one or three are gathered.
1 or 3.
He is in the presence.
Yes, he is.
But what of isolation? When in a pandemic, and it's hard to distance yourself socially. So we see what can happen when we gather. Single notes become harmonies.
Yeah.
Isotopes become alarming.
Yeah.
What else can you ask for? In a pandemic.
What else? What else?
What else can you ask for when within a pandemic? I don't know. I want to sing this song again.
you do that. That's how you jam in Louis Armstrong's house. Wow. That's so major.
Corona blues.
The Corona blues.
Ding dong, ding ding. Ding dong, ding dong. Diddly do lo diddly dee, but a lo do lo diddly do. Wee dee 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 dee. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. Oh yeah.
Good. Beautiful. You feel good about that?
That one's